Hello all and welcome, and I am the MGTOW philosopher, and in this video I would like to talk about a conservative British politician by the name of Ian Duncan Smith. Now this guy claims, with his vast expertise in political science and critical theory, that unmarried men are a problem for society. Yes, says Tory MP Ian Duncan Smith, these boys will go looking for the alternative on the internet if they don't tie the knot. Meaning what exactly? Porn? Oh, yeah, such an evil thing. He must be a Christian. And of course, this is from the Huffington Post, that liberal. So this guy speaks from on high with his wonderful expertise in politics. I don't know what the hell he knows about psychology or anything else. Nothing, apparently. Unmarried men often grow into dysfunctional human beings and become a problem for society, Ian Duncan Smith has claimed. Well, what does that mean, a problem for society? Oh, he doesn't get specific, because if you do nail him down, then he'd have to defend his position. He just is very vague in general. Speaking at a fringe event, oh yeah, I would guess so. This guy's on the fringe with a belief like that. At a Conservative Party conference in Manchester, the former Tory leader said that cohabitating couples are inherently unstable relationships in comparison to those who are married. So what? First of all, this guy's married, just so you know. He's a lifelong politician, just so you know. And he's a traditional conservative, just so you know. It's very interesting how leftists like this guy also have traditional conservative values as well. Very interesting how the tradcons and the leftists have so much in common. He went on to claim that men out of wedlock were released to do all the things they wouldn't normally do, such as committing... Wait, what? He's saying the men are criminals if they don't get married. So what he's saying is that a man needs a woman to help control him and calm him down, because if left to his own devices, he'll become a criminal. I see. Drinking too much, taking drugs, and fathering multiple children. Well, don't you already have that problem in Britain? I mean, you've got one of the most feminist countries in the world, and you've got tons and tons of broads on the public dole there without husbands. So what are you complaining about, pal? Oh, he's blaming the men. That's very interesting. Blame the man. Don't blame the woman who has 100% control over her own body and whether or not she has a kid. Interesting. Cohabitation is a very different relationship from marriage. Really? How? It's inherently unstable. Why? He's just giving opinions here. This is just critical theory. He's just posting criticisms without any arguments to support it, because there are no arguments. There's no studies that prove any of this. It's all nonsense. And by the way, with as easy as it is to get divorced in the West now, give me a break. There's nothing. In fact, it's really less stable because the woman is incentivized to divorce the guy. At least if they're in a cohabitation relationship, getting divorced won't mean she gets one big fat lottery payout. This is just this guy's own personal opinions. Of course, the problem is that leftists tend to listen to authority figures. So he's an authority figure. That's a problem, because people will take his words at face value. He went on to say the answer, I think, is because cohabitation suits one of the partners more than the other. You think. Who are you? You're just some idiot politician who essentially has no real education. I mean, you probably studied political sciences, which means you have no real education. Almost invariably, it suits the man because they have to make good on their commitment, and when that commitment is facing them, they then withdraw. This guy's an idiot. He said unmarried men were more likely to get into debt and commit crime. That's not true. He's just lying here. This is just a guy who's giving his own opinions based on his very echo chamber atmosphere that he lives in, his own very privileged position. And these are just his opinions. I can knock that down very easy. First of all, single men tend not to go into debt because they don't have a wife and kids to pay for, so they don't have to buy a house, rent an apartment, so they can save their money. What are you talking about, idiot? And commit crimes. Why would they commit crimes just because they're not married? What are you talking about? This guy's an idiot. He's just spreading disinformation. Adding, what has been going on all these years is the men that have been absent from these families in many of these low-income groups are now a problem. Okay, how are they a problem? What huge crime spree is going on in Britain that I don't know about? He's just fear-mongering, so he'll eventually get more reelected. I see. They are out, no longer having to bring something in for their family. So what? So they bring in for themselves so they can be released to do all the things they would normally do and shouldn't do. So levels of addiction, levels of high criminal activity, issues around dysfunctional behavior, multiple parenting, all these things as a result of unanchoring of the young man to responsibility keeps him stable and eventually makes them more happy. Oh, it couldn't be because women have so much freedom to screw the man over. Oh, no, it couldn't be that. It couldn't be that women are incentivized not to get into relationships in the first place because the state will pay for them, their kid, and everything. They don't need a man. No, it couldn't be that. This guy's a typical mangina, cuck, wimp, sellout, white knight who is essentially selling out all men in the hopes of getting reelected. Lovely. And there he is with his ugly wife, who's obviously had plastic surgery and has some horrid teeth. Seems to be the case with most British people. They have terrible teeth for some reason. You would think there's no dentists in Britain. Keeps them stable and eventually makes them more happy. Marriage makes you more happy and stable? How? You're always under threat of her leaving. She can leave at any time, get half your stuff. I mean, what is he talking about, more stable and happy? And she's just a nagging you all the time. How are you more happy in a marriage? Are you kidding me? Pal, are you telling me that you wouldn't be more happy getting a hold of some 20-year-old poon than the old crypt keeper you're with now? I kind of have to call dishonesty here. He goes on to say, he said if men were not taught of the importance of marriage, they would develop what he called low value for women. What? And seek out the alternative on the internet. Wait. Now, I teach just spreading a bunch of nonsense. First of all, pal, you're just giving your own interpretation, the whole leftist BS about, negative philosophy. Everything's open to interpretation, everything's relative. You're just trying to, you're giving your own opinion. Where are the facts? Where's the study? Show me a study. Show me some research that says any of this is true. Oh, it's just your opinion. Well, dude, you're in a position of authority and power. You shouldn't be spouting this nonsense unless you have actual evidence. This guy's very irresponsible. What an idiot. What does he mean alternative on the internet? Does he mean porn? So what? There's no correlation between porn, being single, and being a criminal. Zero. In fact, you'd probably be more likely to be a criminal if you're very poor and you have a family to take care of and you have no job. Then you got to go out and essentially rob, steal, kill to get money. Well, if you're single, it's just you to take care of. A lot less pressure there. And the alternative on the internet now so readily available. So if some of you don't know this, Britain is pushing to ban porn. Okay, and they're trying to introduce it through a Trojan horse of first making it de facto banned on any internet service you use. Then you'd have to call the internet company to activate it. And then, of course, they're passing a law that says 13-year-olds or something can't view porn, which is already illegal. And so there are these blocks that would be put in place. But this is just a start. It's all leading up to a ban. So all it's doing, now so readily available, is about abusive sex and low value of women. What? First of all, what value do you think women have, okay? I mean, I will place my own value on women. This is, and he thinks we're stupid too. Like, this is a typical leftist ploy. Treat everybody like they're morons. I'm no sheep, pal. You think I don't see that you're trying to tell me what value women have? This guy is nothing more than an ideologue and an authoritarian trying to impose upon me his arbitrary notion of how much value a woman has. And he thinks, of course, they're worth more than a man because he's a wimp. He's whipped by his wife. Oh, God. Just take a look at her again. Yeesh, I guess it could be worse. I don't know. She don't look that good to me. She looks pretty, yeah, not so good, pal. Yeah. Anyway, that is where they will go. That's why certainly at the bottom end of the income scale, there is such collapse of self-worth among young girls because they see themselves as objects. Well, that's nonsense. Young girls these days think they're all that in a bag of chips. They don't see themselves as objects. He's a feminist. He's a feminist. He's just trying to get the female voters. They are taught from the beginning that it is the only way to get a man. No, it's not the only way to get a man. Only if you want to get a man who's at the top 20%. He's being very disingenuous here. He's making blanket statements that do not apply. Fat women can get men too, just so long as they're willing to settle for a guy who's making minimum wage. Okay? The former Work and Pension Secretary introduced universal credit, said there was a family breakdown crisis in Britain among lower income groups. But middle-class opinion meant ministers were scared stiff of tackling it. It's more social engineering. Yeah, they want to get more support so they can continue socially engineering society, ban porn, and of course, eventually you're going to have programs that push men more and more and more to get married. Hey, I got to control the sheep, those low-income people. Yeah. They found that teenagers from the poorest 20% of households were 65% more likely to experience family breakdown than teenagers in the top 20% of households. So what? So what? Who cares? What does this have to do with anything? Just a Trojan horse to try and introduce your ideology onto everybody. He said 1 in 5 dependent children had no father figure at home. Oh, you care about father figures, do you? Pal, it's not men leaving. It's women who have become atrocious creatures who are intolerable. You can't tolerate them, and they don't put anything on the table, and then they expect you to support them and take care of them. And if they don't like you, they just divorce you and get most of your stuff, and then they take money, or they just don't marry you at all, make you pay child support. It's the women, you fool. Of course, this guy's a mangina. He is not going to, in any way, shape, or form, attack or blame women. He wants to get reelected. Britain is more likely to experience family breakdown than anywhere else in the world, not the Western world, the world. Of course, you're like one of the top 5 feminist countries on earth. You're right up there with Sweden and Australia. It's the women that are destroying the nuclear family, not men. But of course, it has to be men. He has to blame men. This guy is a perfect example of a white knight. It's all men's fault, never women's fault. He is a trad con cuck. And the worst type of male feminist. Ay. What's this? Getting married is like joining a golf club. You will sign up for anything. I don't understand the relevance of that picture. He compared marriage to buying into a golf club membership, which could see men sign up for absurd things and claim the current system financially rewarded single people. Okay, so now the goalpost has been shifted and somebody else is talking here because now this is somebody arguing against marriage. Interesting. Yeah. Or now he's not arguing against marriage. He's saying that the system has been altered to reward women and single people. Yeah. Well, no. It doesn't reward single people. Get it right. It rewards women. Men don't get rewarded for being single. Women do. Duncan Smith said, if something really matters to you in life. Now, who's Duncan Smith? What the heck? Hey, the Huffington Post is a horrible rag. They don't even segue into new speakers very well, and you're left a little discombobulated wondering where you are in the article. But it's a rag. Of course, it's peopled entirely with women who can't write worth a damn. Something really matters to you in life, you commit to it. People joining golf clubs, and they sign up for they'll sign up to all that. They will sign contracts on housing. They will do financial contracts that they will sign and never question. On the most important relationships in our lives, the thing that will damage or make us, family formation, we let the middle class sit there and tell us, I see that this is a lifestyle choice and we shouldn't ever tell other people that it matters that you make an absolute commitment. Well, how are you going to enforce that? So again, this is just some communist trying to socially engineer, do more social engineering on British people, but the middle class is fighting them, yes. So we have to create more poor people. So the middle class will lose its political power because they're in a position where they essentially are not beholden to you for free stuff. I see. Education is critical, he goes on to say. Yeah. We let the middle class tell us that this is a lifestyle choice. We should never tell people what matters. I make an absolute commitment that's written down on a piece of paper. How's it an absolute commitment if it's written down on paper and you can get divorced at any time and it's so easy and the woman gets a reward? Oh, he's not going to tell us that. Yeah, education is critical. You mean re-education. You mean social engineering. You mean indoctrination is critical. Of course it is. Yes. He added, we don't ask for special privileges for marriage and stable family. Sure you do. Marriages get income credits. They get tax credits. What are you talking about? We simply ask to get the pendulum back in the middle so that people who make a choice do not have to make a choice that's financially damaging rather than beneficial. First of all, you shouldn't be giving anybody special treatment, okay? But you do. I mean, what are you arguing about that single people are essentially being given? I mean, I know this is tradcon crap, but, let's be honest here. It favors the left, and you're clearly a leftist as well as a traditional conservative. Now he's trying to push... This guy is trying to push for fairer What's he exactly trying to? Oh, he's no. Keep the current system in place. Just create some more special privileges for married people as well to incentivize people to get married. That's social engineering. Yeah. Oh, boy. Pendulum back in the middle so that people who make a choice do not have to make a choice that is financially damaging rather than benefiting. Dude, getting married for a man is financially damaging. It's only benefiting to a woman. Oh, well, he's perfectly fine with that. The man signs up for a bad business deal that he's very likely to get screwed on. So what? No big deal. And again, it's women who are walking away, not men. You're blaming the wrong people. If you're very low income, oh, wait, the whole system is set up to reward those living by themselves and essentially... No, it's just set up to reward women. It doesn't reward men, you pinhead. What's he talking about? This is all lies. If you're a very low income, the choice is between basically losing money or gaining money. Ultimately, you would choose the path of gaining money because that is how it works. Yeah, right. And your system is a feminist system. I really don't see women giving up their little perks. And he's not even asking them to do so, it seems. That would be unrealistic. That would never happen. Women will never vote away their own power. So it's essentially just saying, oh, give more perks to married people. Yeah. Like your country isn't already bankrupt enough already with its 60+% tax rate. Oh, look at this guy, Sir Paul Coleridge. Don't know who the heck he is. The Fringe event was the only one at the party conference discussing family breakdown. And Fringe event? Jesus Christ. He said before adding, the truth is I sit in a building where people are scared stiff of this subject. You mean taking privileges away from women, or you mean incentivizing people to get married? I don't see what it's clear that the middle class is against social engineering. That's what they're against. Mind your own business. Don't try to incentivize people or push them to do things that they normally wouldn't do. Oh no. We have power. We need to use it. Sir Paul Coleridge, chairman of the Marriage Foundation. Marriage Foundation? What do you need a marriage foundation for? Also spoke at the event. He said, the problem is that there is a view out there born of ignorance. I'm afraid that all cohabitating relationships are of equal worth, of equal value, of equal stability. I'm afraid they're not. Well, the same goes for marriage. There's differences insofar. But by the way, if the man's working and she's at home, if she's not equal to him, this isn't an equality issue. This is about controlling people. I'm afraid they are not. What do you care? Some marriages ain't equal. Some relationships aren't equal. You have to look at them a case-by-case basis. You can't be making these broad generalizations that don't really apply to the vast majority. I think a very straightforward message from the government. Why not no message? A smaller government is what you need, not bigger government. Who are you to tell me I need to get married? I mean, eventually they're going to have laws that say you have to. Oh, and we'll pick your mate for you. From the government through the tax system. Oh, yeah, let's socially engineer society like you know how society should be. Society itself shouldn't decide how society should be. You need to socially engineer it. Like recycling your rubbish or anything. I mean, recycling is a scam. It's been proven that it's cheaper to make new products than it is to recycle. And you're not going to run out of landfill space. That's nonsense. That's a scam. Just creates busy work. It is the message that you send to people that one form of committed relationship is more valuable and useful to society than another. But is it? Is it really? How is a marriage more valuable than some other relationship? I mean, what about that Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn? Well, they've been married together like 30-plus years. They're not married. I don't think if you told them their relationship is worth less than a marriage, I think they would say, you're out of your mind. This is so stupid. It's just a business agreement. It's a bad business deal for men. Is saying that it's a bad idea. Bad men are bad not getting married. Oh, you should sign up for this bad business deal so we the government can have more power over your life. Yeah, okay. He added that it's not a moral crusade, it's a public health camp. That's a lie. What are you talking about? Tell me the public health ramifications. You're just using critical theory again. You're not proposing any arguments. You're not giving me any studies. You're just giving your own personal opinion because you think you're so god-awful, high and mighty and intelligent that you have the right answers that everybody else should live by, of course. And all these guys are puppets of the global elite, and they're just trying to push the global elite's agenda to create more debt slaves, which is what you do when you get married. All this disinformation crap that men getting married are going to be in less debt than if they stay single. Absurdity. Women create most of the debt, not men, unless they get married, of course, and then they got a little rugrat to take care of, as well as their wife, so they have to go into debt to take care of these people and buy them a house and all the little accoutrements that women must have, even if she's a land whale, especially if she's a land whale. It's a hell of a food bill. So this is just another example of how the Western world is dying, populated by cuck mangina wimps like this guy, trying to pass himself off as a traditional conservative when he's really just a leftist. And this guy who's been cucked by that ugly wife of his with those brown teeth. Good God, that is one ugly broad. Yeah, men, if they don't get married, they're going to become criminals. You can't get more sensationalistic than that. Typical leftist dogma nonsense to try and scare you. Simple fear-mongering. Well, it doesn't work on me, Mr. Ian Duncan Smith. I've had enough of this article. I am the MGTOW philosopher, and I wish you a good day. Take care.